And thank you, councillors. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the March Council meeting. Before we start, I'd just like to advise those that maybe haven't been to a council meeting before of the standards that we require at this meeting. And attendees are reminded that council meetings are a place of work for the staff and councillors. Councillor is committed to meeting its responsibilities as an employer and as a host of this public forum by ensuring that all present meet expectations of mutually respectful and orderly conduct. And it is a condition of entry to this meeting that you cooperate with any directions or requests from the chairperson or council officers. The chairperson is responsible for maintaining order at council meetings. The chief executive officer is responsible for health, well-being and safety of all present. The chairperson or chief executive officer may require a person to leave council premises following any behaviour that falls short of these expectations, and it is an offence to hinder or disrupt a council meeting, and public attendees are requested to register their attendance prior to entering the meeting, and to advise everybody that these meetings now go live, so you should be all aware of that fact. So the first item on the agenda is attendance, and we have one leave of absence request from the Deputy Mayor, Councillor Rick Sheegog. Item number 2 is the confirmation of minutes. And the recommendation is that the minutes of the Council's ordinary meeting held on the 17th of February 2026, numbered 26/19 to 26/37, as provided to councillors, be received and confirmed as a true record of proceedings. Will somebody please move that recommendation?
Happy to, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Allen. A seconder, please. Councillor Ferguson. Any comments, Councillor Allen? Thank you. Any comments from anybody else around the table? Then I'll put it to the vote.
I must abstain from vote. Sorry, abstain from vote. I had leave of absence for illness on the day.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Lana. So now I will put it to the vote. All those in favour? Carried 7-0.
One abstain.
And 1 abstain. Thank you. Item number 3 is late items, and there are no for this meeting. Item number 4 is declaration of interest in the matter of a councillor. Are there any conflicts of interest? Councillor Matikas.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Item 10.4 today, Council's strategic policies and directions. I've got land in the affected area, so I'll declare my interest and I'll remove myself from that discussion.
Thank you very much. So now we come to public question time, and the general rules for public question time and questions without notice are as follows: 30 minutes maximum for public question time and public questions. Any one speaker is allowed a maximum of 5 minutes to make one statement and or up to 3 questions. For clarity, a member of the public has a maximum of 5 minutes total, irrespective of making a statement, asking a question, or a combined thereof. A question will be answered if the information is known, otherwise it will be taken on notice and responded to in writing. If a member of the public hinders or disrupts a meeting, or tries to hinder or disrupt a meeting, or refuses to leave a closed meeting, or uses obscene or offensive language, the chairperson may take responsible steps to remove the person from the ordinary or closed meeting, including requesting the assistance of a police officer if required. Item 5.1 is public question time, and it commences at 1:35 p.m. And at the moment we have 2 registrations for questions. One is James Stewart.
James, if you could just press the button in front of that microphone.
Thanks.
Beautiful.
There we go. So mine wasn't a question, it was a statement, I think, just
Thank
in
you.
relation to one of the items. So it's in relation to the Section 71 agreement, and that's the removal at 12 Dalmatian Court in Lagana. So we're proposing to remove the Section 71 agreement from this property, which prevents the construction of habitable buildings at the rear of that site. So we have undertaken modelling through this process. So we've presented that modelling to Taswater in relation to noise and odour. Taswater have reviewed that modelling. It falls within their acceptable limits, and on that basis, Taswater were comfortable that future sensitive uses within that buffer area would meet the acceptable limits from their perspective. In relation to the other matter I wanted to raise, it was just that the attenuation code under the planning scheme does apply to applications for future sensitive use in this area. So any application that comes before council, it will need to have modelling and reporting done as part of that process. So essentially it's a bit of a duplication on what the Section 71 agreement does actually provide for. And Council's Environmental Health Officer would get to review that information. And in addition, that modelling and reporting would get referred to Taswater. So they would get to review that as part of that referral process. And the final point I just wanted to note in relation to this application was that this goes through to the Tasmanian Planning Commission. So they'll be the ones that actually make the final determination on this matter. A bit of a different process going through the commission because we only had 4 out of the 5 landowner consents. But generally, the impacted landowners were supportive of this process. So that will go to the commission, they'll review all the information, and they'll be the ones that make the final determination. So as the motion stands at the moment, we're supportive of it, and we'd ask council to support that motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next speaker is Claire Hester and Eva Adversary. Is that how?
No, that's my bad handwriting. I'm sorry.
Oh, right. Beg your pardon.
Thank you, Mayor. So my name is Claire Hester. I'm a director of ERA Advisory. We've been assisting the Dorius Group with the subdivision on West Arm Road in Beauty Point over the last 3 years. So thank you for the opportunity to speak to this today. As you would be aware, it's a residential subdivision. It's a site that's split zoned, both rural and residential. The residential subdivision component is entirely in the general residential zone, 133 new residential lots. The proposal also includes an open space lot. All of the residential lots will be a minimum of 450 square metres. They meet the permitted lot size. They're on flat land and can accommodate the building area clear of all the permitted setbacks. The proposal is to subdivide the land over 11 stages, starting from the north, moving south. So there's a logical sequential approach to the development of the subdivision. Generally, my clients are happy with the conditions that the council officers have put on the agenda for the application. We just have there's just a couple of comments I'd like to make. One of them is around the public open space. We negotiated with the council staff around 2.5% land and 2.5% cash in lieu. We understand now that the councillor's preference is for land. My clients have no problem with that. So there is a condition on the permit that requires that 5% land, and we will work with the council staff on identifying the preferred location for that. The other one is in regards to the frog management strategy and specifically around condition 11. So condition 11 requires that all of the works associated with the frog management strategy they require are to be done as part of stage 1. Stage 1 is simply for a boundary adjustment between the 2 lots. So it's problematic from our perspective in terms of it's a significant investment into one particular part of it, which requires the decommissioning of a dam and the creation of a wetland for that dam. Certainly, my clients are very happy to do that work, just not part of stage one. So we're just seeking, and this is where I come to my question, seeking a change to the conditions on the permit, condition 11, where instead of just stating for stage one, we are wanting it to stay between stage 2 and stage 8 as agreed to by council. So there's a level of flexibility of when all of the frog management strategy needs to be implemented.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, is that it?
That's it. I mean, I'm sure you've all read it, but they were our main two statements, I suppose.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, we take your question and it will be debated by council.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ms. Hester. There being no more public question time, we go to 5.2, which is public questions on notice. And the questions and the replies are found on page 70 of the agenda. 5.3, responses to questions from previous public question time. There were no responses. There were no questions. Item number 6 is the Chief Executive Officer's declaration, found on page 72. And item 7, we come to the planning issues, and council is now sitting as a planning authority. Each council acts as the planning authority for their municipality. In this role, councillors consider development applications and make administrative decisions that are based on the council's planning scheme. While councillors are obliged to consider the community's views, this does not mean that they can vote in favour of those views while fulfilling the role of a planning authority. Councillors must make planning decisions based on whether a planning application is consistent with the local planning scheme, even if members of the community object to the planning proposal. And the first planning item is Plan 1, PA 2023403, and it is to consider subdivision, including public open space and new roads at Lot 102 West Arm Road, Beauty Point, and the item is found from pages 73 to page 139 of the agenda. And the recommendation is that council, that application PA 2023403 be determined as follows. The requested variations comply with the relevant performance criteria and be supported. Matters raised by the representative have been considered in the assessment against the scheme and the commenced conditions, and that the application for subdivision, including public open space and new roads by ERA planning for land at 102 West Arm Road, Beauty Point, Lot 102 on Plan 156126 and Lot 1 on Plan 64199 be approved, subject to the conditions that are outlined on from page 105 to 115 of the agenda. Will somebody please move that recommendation?
Madam Mayor, I'll move the recommendation with an amendment to condition 2 of the permit.
And your amendment is?
That prior to any works commencing and planning sealing of stage 1, amended plans must be submitted and approved to the Director of Planning and Development. When approved, these plans will form part of the permit. The amended plans must be drawn to scale with dimensions, and the amended plans must show that A, land for public open space with a minimum area equal to 5% of the subdivision, excluding the balance lot. Land for private open space is to include land in the general area of lots 103 to 106, or another suitable location as agreed by council. The public open space must comply with the requirements of section 4.3 of council's public open space policy and must not be constrained by the following. I, stormwater infrastructure or the other above or below ground infrastructure that would limit its usability for recreation. II, footpaths or roads. III, land that contains protected flora and or / fauna or other constraints that are unmanageable or increase the maintenance burden. That B, the corners of lot 120 truncated at the Road 1 and Road 2 intersection to the satisfactory of the road authority. That C, the corners of lot 30 truncated at the Road 1 and West Arm Road intersection to the satisfaction of the road authority. That D, the drainage easement in lot 134 extended to the southern boundary, and E, the drainage easement in lot 6 extended to the boundary of CT 26963/7, then south through lot 1 to Road 4, and that the amended plans must be endorsed prior to the plan sealing of stage 1.
Thank you, Councillor Manticas. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Ferguson.
Sorry, Madam Mayor, just before you do that, Councillor Manticas, can you just confirm that what's on those screens there is that motion so we make sure we've got it right?
All that's going on, I know we only deal with the stuff we've got, but the speaker earlier mentioned.
Well, actually, you can't speak until we start the debate. Thanks.
Just going to ask a question, that's all.
That's correct.
Thank you, Councillor Manticas.
Thank you very much. So that now becomes the motion. Councillor Manticas.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And I'm just going to start off by saying 133 lots to the Beauty Point community is vital in the pipeline for new housing. Northern Tasmania and all of Tasmania are struggling to keep up with demand, and it's important that we have projects of this nature that are coming online. Bearing in mind, though, that there's always the need to balance the need for new housing with good community and environmental outcomes as well. So part of the amendments that Council has moved today is to make sure that there is sufficient land that is set aside so that Council at its discretion over the longer term planning can ensure that there are open spaces for the community, not only of this subdivision, but the wider area to enjoy in future years to come. I think there were a number of concerns raised by way of representation from residents, albeit I might add the number of representations wasn't as high as what I was expecting, and that tells me that the community is largely in favour of developments of this nature at this location. I've always believed that landowners have the right to develop their own land in a way that suits them, and as long as it's in accordance with the planning scheme as well. With the greatest respect to the speaker that spoke today, I'm not in a position where I'm going to entertain an amendment to Condition 11. I think that frog management and the natural values of the site need to be protected, and the works need to be done prior to the sealing of stage 1, as instructed in the permit conditions. It's important that when you develop your land, and whilst you have a right to do so, you're also responsible for the environment and protecting any identified issues over the site, and it's your responsibility to make sure that those are done to the satisfaction of our council team prior to the sealing or issuing of any new titles as well. Apart from that, I feel that it was 97.5% of the way there as submitted by the applicant. The 2.5% we're addressing through an amendment of condition, which is the balance remaining of the public open space. So I'm quite happy to move this. I wish the developers all the success in seeing these lots come onto the market and into the pipeline that's much needed. And I've got nothing more to say at this stage and open it up for full debate.
Thank you. Councillor Ferguson.
Yes, I just had a question, if that was okay before I move, was that although we, as a planning authority, we haven't had any reporting on the comments made by the representative before, I'm just wondering whether the current motion at hand, which talks about or another suitable location agreed by council, could that hypothetically ensure the right location for private open space has been decided, public open space? Yeah.
Ms Ennis.
Yes, absolutely. So that proposed wording that you're moving to add to the condition Well, it does indicate that you've got a preference. My reading is that you've got a preference for lots 103 to 106 or something in that area. It does provide flexibility so that we can enter into negotiations with the developer to find a suitable location, which may or may not be in that part of the subdivision area.
Yeah, thank you. And on that basis, I mean, I'll just make it real clear. I was happy to support the original motion because I do have full confidence in our planning staff in working with the developer. This, instead of just leaving it open with that initial condition, I do understand that it's probably important for the planning authority to give a direction or some sort of shape on the public open space. So on that basis, and that there is that lever there for our planners to also work with the developer, particularly around the staging. I can support this and why I've seconded.
Thank you very much, Councillor Ferguson. Any other comments? Yes, Councillor Lyons.
Sorry, my question is to the planner in relation to, and I know you can't take evidence today about this planning matter, but what effect would, I just want to know what effect, if that, and where is it dealt with in the process? That's
Are you referring to
Section 11.
proposed changes to
Yeah.
condition 11?
Suggestion
Yep.
is to go between
Got
stage
those
2
three
and
and
2
one.
and 8 instead of.
So condition 11 relates to the timing of when the actions in the frog management plan would need to be carried out. So as the condition currently reads, they are required to complete all works within that management plan prior to plan sealing of stage 1. So stage 1 comprises of the boundary adjustment between what is currently the ponds or the dam to the south, at swinging that boundary around to align with the zone boundary. The reason for the condition as it is currently drafted is to ensure that that parcel of land which will contain all of the frog habitat and which will require the frog management is not split off from the remainder of the subdivision land prior to the frog management works being undertaken. So that was the rationale for the condition as currently drafted. In terms of the request to have that amended to say stage 1 to 8, I do know in an earlier iteration it was proposed to be done as part of stage 8, that the assessing officers considered that because of the importance of that work, and particularly the importance of protecting that area from future stages of construction, it wasn't appropriate to have it deferred to that far in the development process. Usually with a condition, often with a condition like that, we may say prior to plan sealing of stage 1, or as agreed in writing by council, to provide that flexibility should another stage be determined to be appropriate. But my recommendation would be that we wouldn't be prepared. I personally wouldn't recommend to commit to say stages 1 to 8, but possibly stages 1 or as agreed at the most.
Is that all, Councillor Lyons? Any other comments? There being none.
I was just going to make a comment.
Councillor Allen.
I think this development is going to be great for the area and provide, options of lots of different housing in an area that's needed. And certainly most of the concerns we had were to do with future commercial availability in the area, which is nothing to do with your plan, of course, but it will hopefully grow the area and that will happen. So I think, all growing well, it'll be great. Thank you.
No other comments? I'll get Councillor Manticas to close.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And interesting to hear the debate around a number of conditions, and just to reiterate that developers also have a responsibility to communities as well. This is probably one of the more technical side of subdivisions that we've seen in a while with regards to trying to manage the flora and fauna on the site and the adjacent site. I think all of the conditions are done, have been appropriately conditioned, so to speak. It is the developer's right to develop their land, but it's also their responsibility to make sure that they protect the ecosystem that's there, especially where endangered species have been identified. So without going into any further detail, supporting it for approval here today with obviously the amended condition to condition permit 2 and no other conditions. So that's it.
Thank you very much. I'll now put it to the vote. All those in favour? Carried 8-0. Plan 2, it's the removal of a Part 5 agreement at Dalmatian Court, Lagana, and the request is to end a Part 5 agreement that impacts 5 properties, including 2 strata properties at Dalmatian Court, Lagana. The Part 5 agreement included in Attachment 2 to this report prohibits the construction of residential dwellings within the shaded area marked on the plan attached to Part 5 agreement, which falls within 350 metres of the Lagana sewer treatment plant. The purpose of this Part 5 agreement is to prevent the encroachment of residential development towards the sewage treatment plant, to protect the operation of the sewage treatment plant, and to minimise risk of odour and noise complaints from the residents. And the recommendation is that, in accordance with 74.3 of LUPA, support the request to end the Part 5 agreement legally referred to as dealing number C854299. B, provide advice to the Tasmanian Planning Commission that, in the view of the Planning Authority, the Part 5 agreement legally referred to as dealing number C854299 should be ended, and C, request that the Tasmanian Planning Commission consider the request for approval to end Part 5 agreement legally referred to as dealing number C854299. May I please have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Ireland. A seconder, please. Councillor Glana. Councillor Ireland.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm happy to support this. Basically, this will enable these houses to put a granny flat or something in their backyard, which is good for our increasing population. Whatever happens, they still have to go through the whole process of ensuring it complies with the regulations regarding the sewage plant. Taswater are happy with this as far as odour and noise. So I can't see any problem with this at all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Anna.
I agree with supporting this motion. The agreement is considered no longer necessary due to the attenuation code that exists. It's a doubling up of requirements. So the attenuation code would be triggered at the time of planning consideration, and as Councillor Ireland has said, the detectable level of odour is only on it's minimal with one of the properties, and hence the 4 out of 5 people who would like to see that that agreement ended. So I'm in support of the motion.
Thank you very much. Are there any other speakers for or against the motion? Councillor Manticas.
Oh, look, just briefly, Madam Mayor, this Part 5 agreement was entered into some 18 years ago, where I suspect that the planning scheme was very different and the intent behind it at the time was suitable. But here you've got 80% of the people that this Part 5 affects saying that they want to see it removed, and they're still going to have to go through further levels of scrutiny with further planning assessments. And it makes it really easy when companies like Nova have done all the work for us with all the reports. So this is a no-brainer.
Thank you. Any other comments? There being none, I'll ask Councillor Ireland to close.
Nothing further, thank you.
Thank you. I will put it to the vote. All those in favour? Carried 7-0. Councillor Lyons is absent. Item number 8 is the Office of the Chief Executive Officer, and the purpose of this report is to provide a record of workshops held in accordance with the requirements of Regulation 10.3C of the Local Government Meeting Procedures Regulations 2025, and the details are found from pages 173 to 176. And the recommendation is the Council receives the report on Council workshops held on the 17th of February, 3rd of March and the 10th of March 2026. May I please have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Allen. A seconder, please. Councillor Ferguson. Councillor Allen.
Yeah, not a lot to say. It's just that this report is to show what councillors have done in between council meetings and at their workshops, and to just make it clear to everyone in the community there is a lot of work involved in all this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ferguson.
Nothing further, just that it's for noting council activities. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? There being none, I'll put it to the vote. Oh, I beg your pardon, I'll ask Councillor Allen to close. Nothing further. I'll put it to the vote. All those in favour? Carried 8-0. Item 8.3, CEO 3. Sorry? Oh, I beg your pardon. I've gone one too far. CEO 2, Northern Tasmanian Development Corporation NTDC Quarterly Report, October to December 2025. And the purpose of this report is to provide Council with the Northern Tasmanian Development Corporation Quarterly Report for the period October to December 2025. And the details of that are found on pages 177 to page 178 of the agenda. And the recommendation is that Council receives and notes the Northern Tasmania Development Corporation Limited Quarterly Report for the period of 1 October 25 to 31 December 25. A mover, please. Councillor Lana, and a seconder. Councillor Manticas. Councillor Lana.
Thank you, Chair. It's important for Council to have an update from the NTDC, with whom our Council has entered a funding agreement over the next 3 years. So we'd like to see value for money, and this demonstrates the activities and the progress that has been made in the negotiations with often government bodies.
Thank you. Councillor Manticas.
Yeah, just to echo those comments, as part of the funding agreement that's in place, NTDC is required to report on a quarterly basis to Council. And this is a really good opportunity for ratepayers of our municipality to understand the important work that NTDC do in advocating on behalf of our municipality. And I'm just happy to receive the report.
Thank you. Any other comments? I'd ask Councillor Lana to close.
Nothing more to add. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll put it to the vote. All those in favour? Against? Carried 8-0. So now we come to CEO 3. The Council Annual General Meeting, date for 2026, and the purpose of this report is for Council to endorse a date for the 2026 Annual General Meeting, and the details are from pages 192 to page 193, and the recommendation is that Council approve the 2026 Annual General Meeting to be held at 5:30 p.m. on Tuesday, 1 December 2026 at the Windsor Community Precinct, 1 Windsor Drive, Riverside. May I please have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Ireland, and a seconder, Councillor Sladden. Councillor Ireland.
Yes, thank you. This is in order to make our AGM more compliant, because one of the problems we had with our previous AGM was we had to discuss motions brought up at the AGM at the next council meeting, which happened to be like 2 hours later. So that was impractical. So by moving it to this date, which is actually after our workshop on the first Tuesday of December, is a very sensible idea. So I approve we move this.
Thank you very much. Councillor Sladden.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor Ireland. I completely agree. It actually makes sense to move this, but also as an additional note, just this year being an election year, that it means that the new incoming councillors don't have a AGM immediately as they are elected. So that sort of helps too to smooth things over for the running of the AGM and the processes ahead. So fully endorse this motion.
Thank you. Any other comments? Councillor Ireland.
Nothing further, thank you.
Thank you. I'll put it to the vote. All those in favour? Against? Carried 8-0. CEO 4, the Australian Government National General Assembly 2026, and the purpose of this report is to consider the appointment of delegates for attendance at the 2026 Australian Local Government Association National General Assembly, which will be held in Canberra between 23 and 25 June 2026. The item is detailed, this agenda item is detailed from pages 194 to 196, and the recommendations are that 1, Council supports the attendance of the Mayor to represent Council as a voting delegate at the 2026 National General Assembly of Local Government to be held in Canberra from 23 to 25 June 26, supports the attendance of Councillor Joy Allen, Councillor Caroline Lana and Councillor Julie Sladden at the 2026 National General Assembly of Local Government for professional development purposes. May I please have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Manticas. Seconder, please. Councillor Ferguson. Councillor Manticas.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and I'll speak to this. Having attended ALGA over the last couple of years, it's a really important opportunity for our council to be seen at a national level. And professional development that comes from attending ALGA with the various seminars that are conducted are vital to continuous learning and improvement. I note that this year, this is about balancing, I guess, the number of attendees and how we've done it over recent years, so everyone has an opportunity to do so. And I'm very pleased with the people that have expressed interest in attending to represent our council at the national stage. And I wish the council's motion before ALGA this year all the success in getting up, and best of luck to you, Madam Mayor, who will argue for its support tooth and nail. Yeah, keep going hard.
It will be very enthusiastically put to the delegations. Thank you. Councillor Ferguson.
No, nothing further, except I'm looking forward to the reports. Last meeting, there were the councils that did attend actually did inform the rest of the council on the activities and the topics discussed. And this year there is a motion at hand that we're hoping to really see success.
Thank you very much. Any other comments? Before I ask Councillor Manticas to close, it also gives, as you all know, the Council CEO and the Mayor an opportunity to lobby face-to-face with the various federal ministers that impact on decisions that they make about local government. So it really is a great opportunity for Council to do a lot of legwork while we're in Canberra. Thank you. Councillor Manticas, will you close?
Look, just to say that while you're all in Canberra, we'll be holding the fort down here and everything will be smooth sailing from our end. So, yeah.
Thank you, Councillor Manticas. I'll put it. I will now put it to the vote. All those in favour? Against? Carried 8-0. Item 9 is governance, and there are no governance matters today. Item 10 is development, and Development 1, Legana Town Centre and Township Structure Plan. And the summary for this item is that the Lagana Town Centre and Township Structure Plan outlines a long-term strategic framework to guide development within Lagana over the next 20 years and beyond, as in Attachment 1. Adoption of the Lagana Town Centre and Township Structure Plan is an important step in embedding the local strategy into statutory planning instruments, and once adopted, the structure plan will serve as a key planning tool to support the delivery of a vibrant and well-connected community that caters for the needs of current residents and future generations as the area grows. And the agenda item is found from page 198 to page 202 of the agenda. And the recommendation is that Council adopts the Lagana Town Centre and Township Structure Plan Attachment 1 as its long-term local strategy for managing land use, infrastructure and development in the Lagana to 2046. And for those interested, the actual strategic plan is found from pages 202 to 361. And oh, yes, I beg your pardon. So I now ask for somebody to move. Councillor Lyons, and a seconder, please. Councillor Ireland. Councillor Lyons.
I think we've had lots of discussion on this. I guess, and I'm quite happy with the plan. I just sort of flag for future councillors that we ought to consider having some of the land which is in this plan utilised by the council as a way of increasing revenue, but also getting the design of buildings, etc., and the usage of that land to make it really a very vibrant part of the town centre of Lagana into the future.
Thank you. Councillor Ireland.
Thank you. This is an extremely important document. It gives our residents and developers and owners of land in that area what our plan is for the future. It'll probably change slightly, things do, but it gives us a rough, it's like more than mud map, what our planned areas, where the zoning is, where the traffic's going to go. A lot of work went into it. I'm sure it costs quite a bit of money, but I'm very pleased with the outcome and very happy to support it.
Thank you very much. Councillor.
Any other?
Yes. Any other councillors? I'm sorry, I just lost my place. Any other councillors that wish to comment? Councillor Allen.
Just that this has been an ongoing long-term plan that lots of people are waiting to see the outcome of today. It helps council guide the future of Lagana after plenty of consultation with stakeholders and landowners in the area to give a big picture of what we hope to see Lagana like in the future. Thank you. And thank you to staff for all the work that's gone into this plan.
Thank you. Councillor Sladden.
I just want to echo what my fellow councillors have said already, and also just acknowledge the work that our team have done on this. This is very much a living document, but it really does hallmark what we are looking towards over the next 20 years and beyond. And I would actually encourage anyone who's interested in the future of Lagana to actually take the time to have a look at the plan, not least for the 3 drawing submissions that are in there, of which my favourite is the one of the swimming pool, which just probably comes as no surprise to people around the table. But this really is an example of how to get the community involved. And if people want to see the West Tamar municipality grow, and specifically their area grow in the way they want to, then you have to get involved. And we had breakfast workshop with town centre precinct landowners. We had pop-up booths at the Lagana movie night, and submissions were invited, surveys were done, and as I mentioned, the drawing activities from some of our youngest members who are the ones who are going to be living out this structure plan in decades to come. So, yeah, I just want to congratulate the team for the work that's been done, and also just encourage the community to get involved, have a look at the plan. You know, that I'm sure there will be things that will be amended and adjusted over time as we respond to the community requests and things that we meet moving forward.
Thank you very much. Any other comments? Councillor Lana.
Yes, I concur. The community consultation was a great process, and I would encourage, and the outcome is very impressive. But I would encourage people to take the opportunity to fill out their pulse survey, which is the latest West Tamar Council survey, and council is listening. So if you can get your comments in, that would be great.
Thank you, Councillor Lana. Yes, Councillor Fuchs and Councillor Manticas.
Yeah, thank you. I agree with Councillor Ireland. This is a very important document. And in my time in council, I would have to say this is probably the best process I think we have run. The report is excellent and the consultation was extensive. We've had many briefings on it and inputs, and I really hope that, and I do, and I'd like the planner to answer this question: is this going to activate Lagana and the road to nowhere start going somewhere? Because I think this is actually the important bit of work that we need. So that's my first question.
Look, I very much look forward to working with all of you and the community on the next stage of projects that will come out of this important piece of work. One of those key actions is the setting of priorities in terms of, I guess, the development opportunities that are set out in the structure plan, and which ones of those we want to move on to really make sure that we're locking in those opportunities. And so there'll definitely be more happening in this space, and the community will be involved in consultation throughout those various projects that will come out of it. So this is very much the beginning of the planning for Lagana, and so it is an exciting step and a very important step.
Thank you. So that's a yes. But no, I do appreciate that. But if I take our minds back, a number of councils ago, we obviously decided on the strategic direction for Lagana. From its very first designs, changed extensively, and that's the challenge of planning and landowners self-determining. This is going to point us into the direction for the next 20 years, and I am very confident in it. However, I would say that particularly on the western side, the landowners are absolutely critical to determine what happens with their land, and so the rezoning is ultimately going to come down to the owner, and there's processes for that. And the other thing that's very good about it is that it's looking at the Onova Business Park being extended. If we look at the demand in that space and the metrics behind it, so I think that's excellent. Apart from that, if you do look at the structure plan, I think it's fit for purpose, although as it's been said, it's going to have to change. And I was also comforted that the report did recognise that it will need to be updated along the way. This is not, this is not a completely locked in. So yeah, commending everyone involved. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Manticas.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And I just wanted to say thank you to the 4Cs, the council staff for a start. The amount of work that you guys have put in on this behind the scenes, what people don't see, has just been immense. Okay. Hats off to you guys. We're very lucky to have you all working in our corner. The community as well for their level of engagement and their written responses and attending the workshops. The consultants who have facilitated everyone's vision and trying to then draw in master planning for a whole area that's got really 5 competing different precincts. And then obviously the councillors, because we've had to go to workshop after workshop after workshop to make sure that everything's being captured as it should be. The level of engagement and the level of detail in this reporting is the best I've ever seen. And dare I say it, this is a very ambitious council that decided to embark on this project to really focus on this area a couple of years ago. And we've got the outcome that we set out to achieve. I'd be hard pressed to think of another council anywhere in Tasmania that has delivered the body of work that this council has done in the last 4 years. And I think this is going to be a win for everyone, the community, future residents. This has gone into such a great level of detail. Now, the town centre will be council driven by way of rezonings and making sure that we get a civic centre or a civic area that meets what our expectations are. But for all other residents within the Lagana structure plan, it's really up to you to drive what changes you'd like to see on your property. This creates the pathway for owners to apply for rezoning if it aligns with obviously the structure plan as it is here today. So this is about the community continuing to develop Lagana, the council continuing to develop Lagana, and making sure that the West Tamar is really a destination for people to live, work and play. So I'd just like to thank everyone. Yeah.
Thank you. And before I ask Councillor Lyons to close, I don't think that we can state highly enough the standard of the team on our council that put this report together. It has been a long, long process, and it is a living document. It will go on, continue to be changed, but the end product, I think, is something to be very proud of. And while we councillors get a voice to express our thanks, we do sincerely thank the team that put this together. You're absolutely amazing. Thank you. So now I'll ask Councillor Lyons to close.
Well, thank you. I think most of it has been said. This is a really good outcome. In my naive ability, when I was first joined the council, I assumed every town would have a plan, and this is really the best that we've had since I've been here. It is only a start. We now rely on the owners and the developers to give us direction in terms of the quality and the building structures, and we really need those people to come on board with the expectations I think that all the councillors have. This is a start. We have the opportunity to make Lagana a real focus for our West Tamar community. This is the opportunity, and I hope that I think our expectations are met by the developers and the actual builders in the end, and I think we could make Lagana a real focus of our municipality. This is an opportunity, and I'm just asking for the owners and developers to come on board to make this really an outstanding town, and really take us to a new level in terms of development in our municipality.
Thank you very much, Councillor Lyons. I'll now put it to the vote. All those in favour? Against? Carried 8-0. 10.2 is development proposed street names in the West Tamar, and the purpose of this report is for council to consider a street name for 2 new cul-de-sacs in Riverside. The road is part of the Cormanston Road subdivision approved under DA 103/04-3. The cul-de-sacs provide access to new lots as part of the approved subdivision. And the recommendation is that council approve the naming of Prince Court and Price Court, I beg your pardon, and Sauce Court for the proposed roads as advised, and advise the Place Tasmania beg your pardon, place names Tasmania accordingly. Will somebody please move that recommendation? Councillor Lyons, and a seconder, please. Councillor Manticas, Councillor Lyons.
I'm sure Ross Harrison would be using these to mark his friendship with Jeff Price, who was Jeff Price was I think a WorkSafe inspector with there'd be WorkSafe Tasmania. I think it was Department of Labour and Industry back in his day. I know he was a friend of Ross Harrison, and he was a contributor to our community. I think a life member of the Riverside Swimming Club, life member of Old Scotch Footy Club. He was secretary there for more years than I can remember. His nickname was Sauce, and his name was Jeff Price, and so that's where Ross Harrison obviously has got those names. I think it's probably a fitting sort of memorial almost for Jeff Price. He was a great contributor, and I think this Ross will be very pleased if these names get up, and I think it justifies Sauce's contribution to our community.
Thank you, Councillor Lyons, and it's a bit of local knowledge that we appreciate. Thank you. Councillor Manticas.
Look, just very briefly, I think when a developer does a subdivision and they put in new roads, they should have a level of input into the naming of those roads as part of their legacy as a developer. Place Names Tasmania are accepting of these names. I've got no reason to not support. So,
thank you. Any other comments? I'll ask Councillor Lyons to close. Anything further?
Nothing further except it is a great memorial to a good bloke.
Thank you very much, Councillor Lyons. I'll now put it to the vote. All those in favour? Against? Carried 8-0. Development 3, it's a petition to amend a sealed plan at 389 Auburn Road, Beaconsfield, and the proposal is to amend a sealed plan by removing the existing right-of-way burdening Lot 1 in Seal Plan 159266. This easement is not currently in use and will not be in use in the future. And the details of the item are from page 365 to 371. And the recommendation is that Council authorise the signing and sealing of the attached request to amend a sealed plan form by the Chief Executive Officer and Mayor, and 2, return the form to Douglas and Collins lawyers. Will somebody please move that recommendation? Thank you, Councillor Manticas. A seconder, please. Councillor Ireland, I think, got in first. Thank you, Councillor Manticas.
thank you, Madam Mayor. This is a really easy motion to support. Easements are created over titles to benefit other title holders. And here you've got all title holders coming together and saying, we want this easement removed. So the purpose of this easement holds no current utility, and it has the consent from all affected landowners. I'm voting to support removing the easement.
Thank you. Councillor Ireland.
Yes, and this easement goes through the middle of a apple orchard, which this guy produces a very nice cider. So hopefully he can produce even more cider, which the easement goes. So happily I support it.
We're getting quite a reputation as cider producers in the West Tamar, which is rather a nice connection to the history of the orchards that were very much a big part of the West Tamar in the early days. Are there any other comments? There being none, Councillor Manticas, please close.
Nothing further. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll put it to the vote. All those in favour? Against? Carried 8-0. Development 4, strategic planning priorities, and this item is seeking endorsement of the schedule of Council's strategic planning priorities following the adoption of the West Tamar Growth Strategy, details to be found from pages 372 to 374, And the recommendation is that Council endorse the strategic planning priorities listed above for the 25, 26, 26, 27 and 27, 28 financial years. Will somebody please move?
I'm just stepping out. This is my interest.
You have a conflict of interest. Thank you. Do I have a mover, please?
I'm unclear as to whether the non-pecuniary interest applies.
We discussed that. We didn't think that you did have one.
No rezoning.
But it's up to you, Councillor.
Okay, I think I'm fine.
Thank you. So may I now please have a mover? Councillor Allen, a seconder, please. Thank you, Councillor Ireland. Councillor Allen.
Yes, this recommendation is to approve the strategic planning priorities for West Tamar Council's growth strategy and the way we go about it. So it covers all areas, including our Exeter and district structure plan, the Lagana town plan we're doing now, the housing plan, planning scheme amendments, and our long-term provisions for local schedules that cover the above, including Lagana Southern Precinct planning. So it's just a necessary plan that we need to approve so council staff can get on with their work and get this all happening. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Allen. Councillor Ireland.
Yes, thank you. This is basically telling the planning department what their priorities will be. They can't do everything at once, so we've got something for this year, something for next year, and something for 2028. So it's a sort of work plan, if you like, of all the different important things that we have to do.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Councillor Ireland. Are there any other? Yes, Councillor Lyons.
I think this is sort of like the staff have decided what their priorities are and put it to us so we agree with them. And so I think that's a good idea. Not a bad idea to work together. The big risk, of course, is we have a council election this year, and then the priorities might change. But it's like I've said many times, you know, diseases and cures overcome all your planning and health. So a new council might overcome our planning in this, but it's a good idea.
Thank you, Councillor Lyons. Any other comments? I will ask Councillor Allen to close it.
No, I think we've covered all that. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. I put it to the vote. All those in favour? 6-0. Absent due to a pecuniary interest are Councillor Matikas and Councillor Ferguson. So the next item on the agenda, we'll just ask the councillors to come back.
We get through it pretty quick without them, so
Yeah.
So the next item is corporate, and there are no items listed in that. We come to item 12, which is community. And Community 1 is the Youth Advisory Council minutes for February. They're found from pages 376 to 379. And the recommendation is the Council receives and notes the minutes as presented for the Youth Advisory Council meeting held on the 12th of February 2026. May I please have a mover? Councillor Allen, thank you. And a seconder, please. Councillor Lyons. Councillor Allen.
Fine. This is a copy of the minutes from the last of the meeting on the 12th of February that council just needs to receive. Councillor Ferguson and myself are both members of this committee and attend the meetings as we can.
Me too.
Oh, sorry, yes. And Councillor Holmdale.
Thank you. Councillor Lyons.
happy to second. I'm still not sure about the use of the word minutes
Well, notes.
for a subcommittee of council, and I think it just should say notes. Anyway,
Matter.
Thank you. Any other comments? Yes, Councillor Sladden.
Plus.
I just want to take the opportunity, looking through the minutes. It talks about the various activities that our Youth Advisory Council get involved with, and they're a pretty active bunch. And on the weekend, they proved that by doing the 12-hour Relay for Life challenge, which I think they're regular attenders at, carrying for a large proportion of the time a fluffy yak, not a live one, I'd just like to say. But I think they've raised $560 so far, and it was just really good to see them out there building community, raising money and getting support. And yeah, so this isn't a youth advisory council that just sits in a room. They get out and do stuff. So good on them.
Thank you, Councillor Sledden, and I think we all wholeheartedly agree. Are there any other comments? There being none, Councillor Allen?
No, nothing further.
Thank you. I'll put it to the vote. All those in favour? Against? Carried 8-0. Community 2 is a sponsorship application from Volunteering Tasmania, and this report is seeking Council's approval for a one-year sponsorship arrangement with Volunteering Tasmania for their 2026 Future Volunteering Symposium, and the details can be found from page 380 to 382 of the agenda papers. And the recommendation is the Council approves a one-year gold sponsorship in the amount of $2,500 to Volunteering Tasmania for the Future of Volunteering Symposium 2026. May I please have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Ferguson. And a seconder? Councillor Lana. Councillor Ferguson.
Yes, thank you. Very happy to support this. Volunteering Tasmania are the peak body in Tasmania for our volunteers. We've got a range of volunteers, not just emergency services across fire and ambulance and SCS. There's all sorts of volunteers. The world would stop without them. So this is an opportunity for us to put our hand up and support this organisation in our area, in the tail race, the function that they run. I know this organisation very well, and they're going out for this support because they need it. This is nothing to do with extra money in the bank, etc., etc. This is a great organisation of hardworking people that are working to represent the issues for volunteers and try to lead this sector. So I think it's great for us to support it. It's the first time we've done this. So yeah, and I'd also be interested to attending, and probably think we should, as a council, think about how we're supporting it individually.
Thanks, Councillor Ferguson. Councillor Lana?
Yes, I agree that it's a worthwhile body, and it's nice to socialise in such an organisation. Very committed people who are giving of their time and effort, and I think volunteering is less of a thing these days. I don't know people's busy lives, but it's good to see that the organisation is being supported by council. Yep.
Thank you, Councillor Lana. Are there any other comments? Councillor Lyons.
I support the motion, and it's good that they're having this conference in our municipal area, and that's a good thing. I worry about these additional bureaucracies that are set up by governments to support volunteers that are already out there doing their volunteer thing, and are sort of obligated then to follow these bureaucracies set up by state governments, and there's a lot of them. And whilst I think it's a good thing to have the conference here, I'm just not sure about what they actually achieve for the volunteers on the ground.
Thank you, Councillor Lyons. Any other comments? There being no further comments, just before I ask Councillor Ferguson to close, I haven't seen recent statistics, but in 2016, volunteering made a contribution of $220 billion, billion, not million, $1 billion to the Australian economy. So that volunteering is shrinking should concern us all because we rely on it heavily. Councillor Ferguson.
Yes. Yeah, I better close just to say that this organisation actually, yes, it would receive some state funding, but they're actually independent from the state government. I think they represent a greater, like a national movement. And so, no, this is a very much ground roots organisation. And I think if we didn't have them, then some of the concerns would be more real. So it's really good they're in this space, and they basically lobby and try to lead the sector and have coordination with the other states. So it's an excellent organisation.
Thank you. I'll now put it to the vote. All those in favour? Carried. 8-0. The next one, Community 3, is a sponsorship application for the Festival of Voices, and this report is seeking Council's approval for a one-year sponsorship arrangement with the Festival of Voices for a sip and sing event at the Rowella Hall. The details can be found on pages 383 to 385. And the recommendation is that Council 1 approves a one-year sponsorship of $2,500 for the Festival of Voices 2026 Sip and Sing event at the Rowella Hall, and 2, approves the usage of the Rowella Hall for the Festival of Voices 2026 Sip and Sing event at no cost. Will somebody please move that recommendation? Councillor Allen,
To approve it.
and a seconder, please. Councillor Lyons, thank you. Councillor Allen.
This event provides a venue for this group to hold their sip and sing at the Rowella Hall. Last year, this was a sold-out event with about 98 tickets sold. The Rowella Hall will actually have that money in their budget for the use of the hall, so it goes towards the hall committee too. So I think it's just something that we really need to support as a community event.
Thank you, Councillor Allen. Councillor Lyons.
I think this Festival of Voices is a great community event. It obviously brings people together. I think that, as Councillor Allen said, that I think there were 94 last year's. It was a sold-out event. I just hope that all of the voices there are terrific, and none of them are like mine.
Thank you very much, Councillor Lyons. Are there any other comments? Councillor Manticas.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I won't be supporting this today, and I take my memory back to last year when that they had applied and they sought sponsorship funding to sort of cover the costs of an unknown event in the municipality. At the time, I took a great interest in their application, given that they're based in Hobart. They do millions of dollars a year in revenue and they make a lot of money, and I didn't feel that they needed it then. Seeing that they've actually sold out the event from last year that Council provided the sponsorship for, there's no reason as to why sponsorship is required for this event to continue. It's clearly able to stand on its own 2 feet. I don't believe it's a good allocation of council money to sponsor what is essentially a big, albeit not-for-profit, a big business here in Tasmania that doesn't need the support. Like last year, I won't be supporting it today. I hope the event still goes ahead. I hope everyone has a great time. And hopefully, Jeff, if they don't have good voices, they sip a lot before they sing so that it's drowned out.
Thank you. Any other comments? There being none, Councillor Allen.
No, nothing further. Thank you.
Thank you. I will put it to the vote. All those in favour? Again, in favour are Councillor Sladden, Councillor Ferguson, Councillor Lyons, Councillor Hondal and Councillor Allen. Against are Councillor Manticas, Councillor Ireland and Councillor Lana. So 2.4, Rowella Community Hall Committee appointments, and the purpose of this report is to seek Council's endorsement of the new nominations to the Rowella Community Hall Committee as decided at the Rowella Community Hall Committee meeting held on the 2nd of March 2026 The details are on pages 386 to 388, and the recommendation is that Council endorses the appointment of the following 3 people as community members of the Rowella Community Hall Committee: 1, Josephine Rowe; 2, Gemma Pullen; and 3, Peter Dawson, who I believe is an electrician and probably has a lot of skills that the hall requires. Will somebody please move that recommendation? Councillor Allen, and a seconder, please. Councillor Ireland. Councillor Allen.
I'll move this in the absence of Councillor Shego, who is a representative on that committee. The committee started off as a big committee, but has got down to 2 members. So I think it's important we fill some of those vacancies. And with these 3 new applicants, that makes 5. So I think that's a good start. And hopefully the committee will be successful until the next AGM. Thank you.
Any other comments?
H.
Councillor Ireland.
Yeah, I only know one of the 3 people, but anybody who puts a hand up to join a committee like this should be supported. So hope the committee goes well.
Thank you. Any other comments? There being none, I'll ask Councillor Allen to close.
Yes, thank you. I think I've made a mistake there. I think that we had 2 new community members were appointed at the last AGM, plus a couple of older ones, which is not mentioned here. So this will make it 2, 4, 8, a committee of 8. So it's just written out a bit differently. So that'll be 8 committee members for this. So yes,
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll now put it to the vote. All those in favour? Against? Carried 8-0. The next item is Community 5, and it's a community grant application from the Deviot Community Hall. And the purpose of this report is for Council to consider a community grant application received from the Deviot Community Association Incorporated for accessible parking. Details to be found on pages 389 to 405. And the recommendation is the Council approves the Deviot Community Association Incorporated's community grant application for $5,000 to assist with the installation of 2 accessible parking spaces. May I please have a mover? Councillor Lana, and a seconder, please. Councillor Sladden. Councillor Lana.
This is one of our beautiful community halls, very well used by various groups. But it's a very steep entry, and there's a picture of the location just by the existing entry, sealed entry. This is it's only 5,000 towards improving Pillar 1 of our wellbeing plan, best health and wellbeing outcomes, and as to Pillar 3, the best economy and best communities. Pillar 4, it's all about engaging our community in our community spaces, and accessibility is a very important part of that. So I commend this contribution of Council towards that facility.
Thank you very much, Councillor Lana. Councillor Sladden.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Look, just adding on to Councillor Lana's comments, this is a very active community hall. This is one of the halls that the council doesn't own or administer, and it's just great to see the way a community gets around a place as an area where, you know, not just activities are held, but relationships are fostered, and we want to make it spaces like this in our community as accessible and as inclusive as possible. I can't remember when the Deviot Hall committee last asked for something from us, so it's actually really refreshing to see them put in an application for this. It scores really high on the matrix, 17 out of 20. And I think it's a really great allocation of funds for that community, for something that's going to benefit many people. So I fully support this motion.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Oh, just a comment to say that the last time I think was the deck, We helped them out with the deck, and we have helped them with the kitchen before. But I was at an event there not long ago, and people were parked on the road, and there was people trying to get parks everywhere, and certainly was difficult enough for an able person, let alone somebody that was disabled. So I commend the committee on the work they do there. And as you say, it's a community-owned hall and run by the community, and certainly happy to support it.
Any Councillor Lyons?
I just think they can create two accessibility parking spots for $5,000. We probably ought to put them on staff.
Thank you. Any other comments? Councillor Mattikas.
And look, just very briefly, this is a very good example as to how to address an application for funding from the council. Total project cost of $13,700 with the council committing $5,000, so approximately 40%. They've already gained some income from the Premier's discretionary fund. This is obviously a very well organised community group that knows exactly what they want. They've targeted it and they've scored extremely high. So very happy to support this.
Thank you. Any other comments? Councillor Lana, please close.
It's not just this little spot. There are other areas along the roadside there that are very gravelly and slopey. Maybe there'll be some further works in the future for their parking needs, which is very well patronised.
Thank you. I will now put it to the vote. All those in favour? Carried 8-0. So comms community 6, it's a community grant application by the Launceston Little Athletics, and the purpose of this report is for council to consider a community grant application received from the Launceston Little Athletics Centre for teardrop flags and event equipment, and the details to be found from page 406 to 419. And the recommendation is that council approve Launceston Little Athletics Centre community grant application for $1,404.09 for the purchase of promotional flags and event equipment. A mover, please. Councillor Mattikas, and a seconder, Councillor Lyons. Councillor Mattikas.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm really pleased to be able to move and support this application. Launceston Little Athletics provide, obviously, exercise activities and outdoor activities for little ones throughout the West Tamar, and they do so at Windsor Oval as well. And they run on the smell of an oily rag by volunteers from parents of students that are attending. And you know, this is a very low value grant request, and I know it's just going to go so far into making the way that they continue to run Launceston Little Athletics just that much better. So proud to support this one.
Thank you. Councillor Lyons.
Yeah, I think this is something we should send the bill to the Launceston City Council, because we're running the Launceston Little Athletics for them. Windsor, I'm only joking there, but they have lots of kids running around. They have used the school oval from time to time, and also Windsor Park football ground. Look, they just train so many people and have for a number of years. The evidence of that is how well the schools in this area perform in athletics in inter high, etc. Once upon a time, Riverside used to dominate swimming events. Now there are lots of Riverside High kids who do very well in athletics, and it can only be from having a little athletics group that gets kids in early and gives them the opportunity to train at whatever level they need.
Thank you. Any other comments? I agree with you, Councillor Lyons. I think anything that brings young people into active, healthy pastimes instead of phones and screens is a good thing. And I can't speak highly enough of how I'm happy to support this group as well. So, Councillor Mattikas, will you please close?
Nothing further.
Nothing further. Put it to the vote. All in favour? Carried 8-0. Community 7 is a community grant application from the Kelso Community Centre, and the purpose of this report is for Council to consider a community grant application received from the Kelso Community Centre for accessible paths. Details and the application is found from page 420 to 453 of the agenda, and the recommendation is that Council approves the Kelso Community Centre community grant application for $3,802, $12 for the installation of 2 accessible and all-weather paths. May I please have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Ferguson. A seconder, please. Councillor Lyons. Councillor Ferguson.
Yeah, happy to support this and thank the council officer for processing it. This is going to make a big difference to the community group in accessing the building at Kelso. They've scored well and they'll have a 10% contribution. So it meets our guidelines, and I think there's good value here for that community.
Thank you very much. Councillor Lyons.
I think this will assist in bringing the Kelso community together. If you don't have to walk through sodden ground, that could make a difference between turning up and not turning up. And I think this will make a big difference to access to that area.
Thank you very much. Are there any other comments? No comments? Councillor Mantigas. Oh, I beg your pardon, Councillor Ferguson. Nothing?
Nothing, thanks.
I will put it to the vote. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Councillor Lyons, were you voting?
Took my hand out.
Oh, did you?
soon.
Okay.
Sorry.
8-0. Thank you. Community 8 is the appointment of a deputy chairperson for the Positive Ageing Committee, and the purpose of this report is to nominate a deputy chairperson for the special committee of council known as the Positive Ageing Committee, formed under Section 24 of the Local Government Act 1993. And the recommendation is that council, by simple majority, approve the addition. Oh, I beg your pardon, I've jumped it. Where am I? The recommendation is that, in accordance with the terms of reference, council needs to appoint a deputy chairperson from the one of 2 councillors currently nominated to be on PAC, Councillor Joy Allen and Councillor Julie Sladden. And I will now put it to the vote, to 2 votes. All of those in favour of Councillor Joy Allen? Sorry?
If we move a motion on who council would like to
We have to take the vote first.
appoint, I believe we may not have to take a vote, so we might see whether somebody would like to move a specific motion for a specific person.
Yes.
I'd like to withdraw my nomination. How's that?
Okay, so I will now, the recommendation is that council appoint Councillor Joy Allen as the deputy chairperson of the Positive Ageing Committee until the end of the current term of council. All those in favour?
Hold on, we need to move that in a second.
Oh, I beg your pardon, yes.
I'll move it.
Thank you, Councillor Mantikas. And a seconder, please. Councillor
Richard Island.
Ireland, thank you. Councillor Mantikas.
Nothing.
Councillor Ireland.
Even less.
Any other comments? Any other comments?
I think I just should refrain from voting on that one, I would say.
Thank you. Before I ask Councillor Mantikas to close, I think, frivolity aside, I think that the Positive Ageing Group do a great job in a different iteration when they were called the Seniors Advisory Group. They were the first council to actually write and adopt a positive ageing strategy. It was quite groundbreaking. I'm going back about 15 years, Joy. Would it be about that much? And they are all volunteers, and they're all very passionate about ensuring that our older citizens get a say in the things that impact on their lives. But I will ask Councillor Mategas to close.
Just to thank Councillor Allen for nominating as the Deputy Chair.
Thank you.
Commitment is appreciated.
I will put it to the vote. All those in favour? Against? Carried 7-0. Abstained Councillor Allen. So we come to 13 community assets and 13.1 asset 1 capital works budget variations, and the purpose of this item is to seek council approval for the addition of a new project in the 25-26 financial year capital works program, and to report to council on capital works project budget variations approved under delegation by the Chief Executive Officer. Details from page 436 to 439. And the recommendation is that Council, by simple majority, approve the addition of a new project, Greens Beach Road stormwater drainage, to the 25-26 financial year capital works program with a budget allocated of $22,000. 2, that Council approves a budget transfer of $22,000 from Project 65135 Paringa Avenue Stormwater to the Greens Beach Road Stormwater Drainage Project, and 3, that Council receives this report under the Local Government Act 1993, Section 82(7), noting the capital works project budget adjustments approved under delegation by the Chief Executive Officer. May I have a mover, please? Councillor Mategas, seconder, please. Councillor Ferguson. Councillor Mategas.
Thank you. And these are really easy things for me to approve. So first-hand knowledge of the road, given that I drive it most days, and the stormwater project that we're looking to add into our capital works item is sorely needed. There was one residential property there that every winter is flooded, and these works are vital to ensure that not only that resident can enjoy their road reserve, but I think people use it as an informal bus stop at times as well. So it's very, very important that we finish the stormwater drainage across the section. And to obviously reallocate monies from other areas of the capital budget that we know we're going to have surpluses is just literally robbing Peter to pay Paul, but without any difference in service delivery or improvement. So really happy to support this one.
Thank you, Councillor Ferguson.
Yeah, happy to support it too. This is our council officers making allocations and getting the approvals. There's a savings being made, and we're able to fix and improve another part of our system.
Thank you. Any other comments? I'll get Councillor Mategas to close, please.
Nothing further.
I put it to the vote. All those in favour? Carried 8-0. The next, thanks, Dino.
Quick.
Item 14, People, Culture and Safety, and there are no items under that heading, as there are no items under section item 15, petitions, there being none. Notice of motions, motions on notice, there aren't any. Motions without notice, are there any motions without notice today? There being none, we go to page 444, which is questions on notice from councillors, and the responses from the CEO are found on pages 444 to 446. And item 17.2, councillors' questions without notice. And I'll start with Councillor Sladden. Nothing at the moment. Would you like me to come back? No? Councillor Ferguson.
Yes, thank you. A couple of months ago, before Christmas actually, I raised the issue of traffic flow in Cleghorn Avenue around school times pickups. And so my question is, can council please develop a path forward in how we can contribute to that issue. And the issue is effectively that it seems to be a queuing of traffic at certain times. I would suggest it's probably not legal at times. There's a real problem there. So I'm just wondering effectively whether our council can lead this space and try pull together the people that need to talk to put a plan together that obviously will take some time to work on.
CEO.
Yeah, just to let you know that that has been a concern. It's been a concern that's raised with us and a concern that council officers have raised repeatedly with Tasmanian Police. So we'll continue to work with Tas Police because they're the ones ultimately who should be acting in this space. But certainly I can let you know we are being as proactive as we possibly can around trying to get an answer to that, and I think we'll continue to keep council updated on how we're progressing with that.
And sorry, Mayor, thank you for following that up, Kristen, because that's an important issue. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Maticas.
Thank you. First question, I know it's briefly been asked before in an informal setting. The shade sailcloth at RSL Park in Beaconsfield has not been there for a couple of months, and I'm just seeking an update as to when we can expect a replacement. That's the first question.
I'll take that one on notice because I don't have the answer to hand.
No, that's fine. And it's just a follow-up question in respect to a question on notice with regards to public open space contribution and the cash amounts that council has raised. My understanding is that anything that is raised by public open space under the LGBMP Act Section 117 says we need to spend that money back in the area for which it was collected. And I just wanted to get clarification from the council as to why we don't treat that as a separate ledger.
I'll take that one on notice as well, and we'll report that one back to you.
And my last question also relates to a question on notice that was raised with regards to the Windsor special levy. I think my question might not have been clear enough. That didn't obviously get the response that I was expecting. My question is, the Windsor levy is levied against residents of Riverside and Trevallyn for the purpose of maintaining Windsor Park. Why is there not a ledger about the capital contributions that council put in so that when that levy is levied against ratepayers, we know exactly how much those ratepayers have left to pay off the works down here in Windsor Park?
Again, I'll take that one on notice. There is, as I understand it, a ledger. I think there was just a miscommunication around understanding exactly what you're after, but we'll print the answer that you're actually after, and we'll take this one on notice.
Anything else, Councillor Main? No, Councillor Lyons.
I guess the Lagana, this is the mayor's raised this years ago, but the Lagana Orchards playground, I just wonder what I thought we'd started to do the base for that, but there doesn't seem to be any movement there.
Yeah, so there's been a delay in starting that because the contractor who is doing the civil works there was also doing Gravelly Beach, and there was a delay at Gravelly Beach. So they are anticipated to start in the next 3 weeks or so. I think it was early April with those civil works. So they're not very far away.
On the corner of Bald Hill Road and what is it, Beulah I know the Westover Council filled a pothole there. The pothole's emptied again. But I think it might be Launceston City Council's area actually, but it's a matter of filling it with some bitumen. It seems to come out because everyone hits that corner at the same spot, I suppose.
Where's that? Where is that?
Bald Hill Road, and then you turn into Beulah to go to...
Oh, Beulah.
Yes.
I thought you said Birley.
Oh, right.
No,
it's a long way away.
Up.
Yeah,
up
Beulah,
there.
sorry.
Yeah.
We'll have a look at that for you.
Yeah, I'm not sure whose it is, but it's really a matter of putting, about 6 shovelfuls of bitumen in, I think. I just, my usual thing, footpath on Riata Road on a list. And that's about it, I think.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Councillor Allen.
Oh, sorry. The other one was the Scout Hall at Tarrays. Apparently, there's a new roof going on or something. What's happening there?
Yes. I'll get details to you on notice, but there is a new roof that is planned to be put on there because of the state of that asset. It was a requirement to do that, but we'll come back with full details on notice.
And we approved that in our budget. I'm sure we did, didn't we? It was in the budget, yeah. Thank you. Nothing, Councillor Allen? Councillor Ireland?
Yeah, one simple thing. Could we perhaps expedite getting that TV installed? When we did this amendment to the motion to this planning thing, Mr. Durius was totally blindsided because he had no idea what we were talking
No,
about.
I had to give him one.
And Joey gave him the bit of paper. So it's really embarrassing when they're saying they have no idea. And it's not that big a deal. It doesn't have to be a fancy TV like that, just a TV. And while you're doing that, are you going to fix the election as well so I can actually see who's in the audience? Please.
Sure. We'll take those on notice and see what we can do to fix them for you.
Thank you. So, Councillor Lana, nothing?
Thank you, Chair. No, I have something. As a councillor, I was asked by a local resident to get council, I quote, to get council to cut down a dead tree with a cracked trunk that was leaning towards Little Swan Point Road, potential danger to regular traffic and pedestrians. I replied my role as councillor was not to direct council's workforce, that it would be best that he take a picture and send it via SnapSend Save phone app. And the problem was dealt with by a council contractor within a few days, which was great. But shortly afterwards, when I saw the resident, I praised his effectiveness in getting the job done, but by his expression, he was not happy with me.
So, just point of order. I'm sorry to do this. I'm not trying to interrupt you, but this is questions without notice.
Yes, there needs to be some context to the question.
No, I know, but I
Okay.
need to ask the question.
All right. Question. Councillors attended an influential communication workshop, which was great, and I've been asking the CEO for a record of those responses we put up on the window as to what the question might be and how to respond. It would be really useful if I could have that report of what those answers were that participants of the workshop contributed, and it might have helped me with that particular situation. Is it possible to have that summary and maybe made available to others who might be interested?
Well, I think this would be something we're talking confidential, probably not in a public council meeting.
In terms of that, yes, Councillor Lana, you have asked for that, and I apologise you haven't got it to date, but there are many and very different priorities currently on my desk, and that continues to be on one of those jobs that I need to get done.
Very much. Another question. Exeter Structure Plan is on Council's website, not as a draft anymore. It's the final.
There is no final. The council has not approved the Exeter Structure Plan. There is no final structure plan.
Thank you. Question answered. Standalone Lagana Cricket Club, which is a particular club, local club, has been promised new club rooms by council to allow the Tatana Way development, as noted on the Lagana Structure Plan, to proceed. The question is it reasonable to expect that a like-for-like floor area replacement club rooms be provided at the new location, wherever it is, as against a more substantial, bright and shiny, large development that might sort of blow council's existing funds reserve in light of more urgent capital works needed in the municipality, such as those needed to relieve pedestrian safety concerns and amenity in footpaths provision? That's the question.
So, Councillor Lana, as you're aware, Council has been looking at the Lagana recreation precinct master planning that's occurred. No decision has been made. In terms of balancing priorities, that is something that council will need to do. And as has previously been discussed, I anticipate that the recreation master plan in its totality will come to council for a decision in April. Just bear in mind that the master plan that you have seen are concepts. We are not in a detailed design stage. So what council has seen to date are concepts, and that's what council will be asked to make a decision on in April.
Thank you.
Any other? So that's it for questions without notice. We go on to 17.3, which is responses to previous questions from councillors, from Councillor Ferguson, Councillor Mattikas and Councillor Sladden. They're found on page 448 to 453. So the final item, item 18, is we go into closed session, and the recommendation is that pursuant to Regulation 17.1 of the Local Government Meeting Procedures Regulation 2025, Council close this meeting at 13:15 to discuss the items. I beg your pardon, 15:13 to discuss items found on pages 451 of the agenda. So will somebody resolve that we move out of, yes, the decision is that we move into closed session. May I have a mover, please? Thank you, Councillor Allen, or Councillor Ireland. Who was first? Councillor Ireland and Councillor Allen. Any comments? No? Put it to the vote. All in favour? Against? Carried 8-0. Okay. closing.
So we're on open, so now you can just.
So we now go to item 20 of the agenda, and there being no further business, the meeting closed at 4:31 p.m.
Thank you.